What is up, my YouTube family? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, then it's just welcome to my channel and not welcome back. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button because you will not be disappointed unless, of course, your taste level is lacking. And if that's the case, if you can't get help at Charter, please get help somewhere. Y'all, I will not be doing my makeup today. I have everything laid out here, but my eyes itch like crazy, and then this eyelid over here is a little bit inflamed and it's doing something really weird at the end. I ain't trying to lose my eye, okay? I like to be able to see what's going on. I'm nosy like that. So I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna tell you the story and set my tea. I am going to moisturize though, because girl, I just can't have dry skin on top of everything else. It is so gloomy in Houston, and somebody said it's because the Libras are descending from down under, and that's why it's so gloomy. Now, I didn't say that. Do I believe it? All right, today's video, we are going to be discussing the case of Dustin Duthie of Canada. And Dustin is the only child that his parents share. And when he is about 3 years old, his father decides to leave the family and they don't see him again. With it being just him and his mom, the two of them grow really close, and he is somewhat of a mama's boy. His mother, Sean, spoils him rotten. And when she remarries her second husband, Alan, Dustin is no longer an only child because Alan has 3 sons of his own. All of them are a little bit younger than Dustin. And for the most part, the 3 boys are excited about having an older brother. They really look up to Dustin and think he's kind of cool, at least at first. From a very young age, Dustin has always appeared to be a bit smarter than his peers, but something else that sticks out about Dustin is his anger. He has a very nasty little temper. Not only that, he is very quick to become angry over the slightest little infraction. And oftentimes his anger is very disproportionate to the offense. One night, him and his step-siblings are playing video games together when Adam, his stepbrother that is 2 years younger than him, goes off and takes a look through Dustin's sketchbook. Now, Dustin was really into graffiti, but it was something that he didn't like sharing with people. He was very sensitive, okay, about his art. So it's something that he keeps really private and he does not share with anyone. But Adam is flipping through this sketchbook and he goes back and teases Dustin about his drawings, and Dustin flips out. He begins to curse and scream at the boy, and then he takes a lighter from his pocket and throws it as hard as he can into the boy's face, splitting his eyelid. And he continues to scream and yell at the boy as he leaves the room. Now, collectively, the siblings decided that this was something they were going to keep from the parents. And Adam didn't want them to find out what Dustin had done because in his mind, this might make Dustin even more angry at him. He didn't want to have to deal with the consequences of that. But unfortunately, there would be many more instances like this, making it impossible for them to conceal his rage as he becomes older. To his siblings, it seemed as though Dustin really liked confrontation and looked for any opportunity to express his anger. And another thing that is so triggering to him is his physical appearance. He is very scrawny, he wears glasses, and this is just not reflective of how he sees himself or how he wants to present himself to the world. But yeah, he's skinny, he can't see, so it's not really a choice there. His step-siblings are not the only ones who experience this side of him. He is very toxic to his parents as well. In one instance, Dustin is experiencing some kind of issue with his phone. He becomes very frustrated and demands that his mother, Sean, buy him a new one. Now, she tells him she is not getting him a new phone. And he flies into a full-on fit of rage, screaming at the lady, calling her names. He throws the cell phone across the room and into the wall. And at that point, his mother gives in and tells him that she will buy him a new one. Now, she does recognize and address the fact that her son's anger is not normal, and he actually agrees and recognizes that his temper is excessive. The two of them have several conversations about him seeking professional help, and she actually makes several appointments for him to see a therapist, but each time he would say he was going to go, but then he does not show up for it. With that, she doesn't know what else to do. So instead of this issue really being like tackled and faced head on, everybody is walking on eggshells, trying their best not to set Dustin off. The problem is, oftentimes Dustin would trigger himself into one of his tantrums. And they are not the only ones who are fed up with how things are going in the household. Dustin is fed up with the things that he wants in life being up to his mother's discretion, and he does not want to go out and get a job and earn money of his own. Instead, he begins rummaging through unlocked cars in the neighborhood, stealing whatever of value that he comes across. And on nights that he does not feel like scouring the streets for money, he looks for right in the comfort of his own home, going through his mother's purse or his stepfather's wallet, taking whatever cash that they have on hand. Now, on several occasions, the children as a whole are addressed about the money that's gone missing, and none of them own up to taking the money or knowing who did. But when Dustin starts coming in the house smelling like cigarettes, it's very obvious which son is the thief. Alan would confront him about not only the smoking, but where he is getting the money from to purchase these cigarettes, if not his mother's bag. And he would tell Alan that it's none of his business where he gets his money from or if he smokes, because he is not his real father. Now, as you can imagine, his antics cause a lot of discourse within the home, especially because as he's grown older, he's become extremely toxic. And he would love, I know we're tired of the word gaslight, but he would gaslight them. When they would confront him about his antics, he would turn it around as if they were the ones that were wrong and be like, well, if I'm just this horrible son and I'm this thief, then maybe I should just go away. And then he would make this grand exit and tell them, like, what if this is the last time you see me? And then he would really be gone anywhere between 3 days to 2 weeks. John and Alan would really be worried sick about him, losing sleep, hoping that he is okay wherever he is, stressed out about not knowing their son's whereabouts. But Dustin always comes home eventually. Now, one evening, him and his friends are out scouring the neighborhood for unlocked cars, and they come across a car with a set of golf clubs inside, and his friend takes one. They continue walking through the neighborhood until they get to their school, and when they do, the boy takes the golf club and breaks out one of the windows. The boys then enter the school, empty every single vending machine, and take their stash back to Dustin's house and hides it in Adam's room underneath his bed. They've also taken the assistant principal's laptop. Now, the boys do get caught, and for this, Dustin receives 5 months of probation and a curfew. Dustin expresses an interest in boxing, and finally, Sean and Alan feel like they found a nice, healthy outlet for their son in his anger. They get him connected with a trainer, and one day they take him as well as Adam, the younger brother, to a boxing session, and the trainer asked Alan if he would be interested in stepping into the ring and, seeing if he likes to box. Adam is like, sure, because it does look a little cool. Alan is excited. He steps into the ring and he is suited up. Both of the boys are explaining that, this is just a sparring practice round. But as soon as they get the green light to start, Dustin just boxes the boy down to the ground. Like, it is so bad that they have to stop the match. Little Adam is like, what was that? Because this was supposed to be fun and it hurt. And Dustin is all hyped up, adrenaline rushing. He is really mad, like he's in a bar fight. And it was just really weird. Now, as the years go on, Dustin sticks with working out. He's working out every day, most days twice a day, just playing with all of that adrenaline and aggression, but in a controlled environment. And like I mentioned before, everyone was excited for him to get this outlet, but he's now begun taking steroids, and the steroids appear to make him even meaner than he's ever been. And now he's meaner and bigger and stronger, so it kind of backfired. Meanwhile, by this point, the younger brother, Adam, has somewhat let go of the wanting to follow up behind his big brother and looking up to Dustin. He now realizes that something is very wrong with Dustin. So he is now becoming his own young man, and he's actually begun dating a young lady by the name of Taylor. Now, things appear to be going well for them romantically for a while, but over time, the romance aspect of their relationship kind of dies off, and the two of them evolve into more friends than lovers. Then all of a sudden, Taylor blindsides Adam when she pops out with a new love interest, his brother Dustin. Adam is heartbroken but decides to just take it on the chin, which he has to do in more ways than one, like in a literal sense, because a lot of times when Taylor is around, Dustin will take the opportunity to in some way embarrass him or try to bully him. And this was not something that impressed Taylor at all. She didn't like it. But anytime that she would step up and say something on behalf of Adam, he would just turn his rage to her. One day, the three of them are all in the car. Taylor's in the back seat. Dustin is driving. And Dustin gets mad about something small, per usual. He starts yelling and cursing at the two of them when Adam tells him not to speak to Taylor like that. He punches Adam in the face several times. And now Adam just opens up the door, undoes his seatbelt, does a nasty little tuck and roll, and jumps out of the car as it's going full speed. And Dustin never even stops. Just chaos. Even as a young adult, Dustin is still very verbally abusive to his parents. He continues to rage out on them over the slightest little thing. Alan does try to put him in his place, but on multiple occasions, he physically attacks Alan. He punches him in the back of the head after one argument and whips out a baton and hits him after another. Each time, Alan would threaten to call the police and press charges if he didn't stop and go. And he goes, but he always comes back and is always allowed to. One night, the brothers, the parents, they're all sitting outside around a bonfire and having a good night, just talking, laughing, when Dustin is triggered by something that one of the other brothers says. He takes an axe and throws it across the fire in the direction of the brother, and he jumps out of the way so it doesn't hit him, but it would have. This was the most shocking and violent thing that they have ever witnessed Dustin do, and it was very alarming, but nothing is really done about it, and they just continue to allow him to come and go as he pleases. Even after a short time later, when he blows up on the family, walks out, but then comes right back in and verbally tells them that he is going to kill each and every one of them, and motions a gun at them and makes the noise with his mouth as if he's firing it one by one, and walks out. After he leaves doing this, the family kind of laughs at him. They just make fun of him, not once taking his threat as seriously as they should have. On the morning of July 31st of 2018, Adam has coffee plans with Alan, the dad. But when he is unable to reach his father, he chalks it up to maybe Alan being busy, doing something around the house, or working. Maybe he simply forgot, so he just brushes it off. A few hours later, though, an unknown number is blowing up Adam's phone. And after 6 calls back to back, he decides to go ahead and answer, and it is the police. They let him know that they need to speak with him, but they have to speak with him in person. And he tells them, okay, it's fine for them to come over. Meanwhile, he is thinking he has committed some kind of crime, broken some law, and is about to be arrested. When the officers arrive, they ask him if he knows Dustin Duthie. And at this point, he figures that Dustin has broken a law of some sort. The officer then delivers the heartbreaking news to him that both his parents have been killed, and they believe that Dustin is the person who had done it. His mother, Sean, had been stabbed 6 times, and his father, Alan, 8 times. And these two were not Dustin's only victims. Days before, on July 25th, Dustin had shown up at his parents' house to spend the night, and he actually stayed for a few nights. Now, after he had arrived, Taylor, his girlfriend's parents, had reached out to Sean to see if she had seen or heard from Taylor or Dustin, because they had been trying to reach Taylor and they have not been able to for days now. Sean, of course, tells them that, yeah, my son is here. When she asks Dustin about Taylor, he says that he hasn't heard from her either. And as the days progress and they still are unable to reach her, Sean and Alan become concerned about Taylor, offering to help her family look for her and asking Dustin a lot of questions. Now, it is assumed that he killed his parents out of panic when they begun questioning him about Taylor's whereabouts, fearing that they were getting close to finding out that he had actually killed Taylor the night that he showed up to their place wanting to spend their first night. His mother, Sean, was at the kitchen table with her back to him when he attacked her. Afterward, he drags her across the kitchen toward the stairs, and that's when he encounters Alan, who was coming down the stairs to see what all of this noise was about. And after attacking Alan, he went and got the family dog, stabbed the family dog, and staged them all there at the base of the stairs. Dustin did attempt to clean up, but there was just too much blood. So instead, he cleaned himself up. He took a shower, put on fresh clothes, shaved his head, cut his head, and then took off in Alan's car. He went back to Taylor's apartment where she has been there deceased for 5 days now. But he realized that he had left her key fob in the apartment when he left, so he had no way of getting access to her unit. Unable to go back into her apartment to get whatever it was he went to get, he just decides at this point to surrender. He calls 911, confesses to everything, saying that he doesn't even know why he did it. And a few days later, Alan's car is returned to his sons, and they're going through it when they notice a tennis ball size, like, glob of electrical tape, and they begin to unravel it out of curiosity. Investigators had gone through the car and removed, or supposedly removed, anything that can be considered evidence. So to them, this is a very peculiar find, and it obviously has not been opened or checked at all. When they unravel all of the tape, there are over 200 pieces of torn paper, and they can tell that it's very obviously Dustin's handwriting. They turn it over to the police, who have it put together, and it is a very detailed and sick account of what had actually happened to Taylor. According to the note, they were laying in bed cuddling. Everything was fine. And then he just put his hands around Taylor's neck and begun to squeeze. He continued to do so until he felt a pop in her neck. Then he got the urge to feel cold steel run through human flesh. So he grabbed a knife and ran it across her throat. Afterward, he positioned her in bed to look as though she was sleeping, tucked her in, and left the apartment. In March of 2021, 27-year-old Dustin Duthie pleads guilty to 3 counts of murder, 2 second degree for his mother and Taylor, and then 1 count of first degree murder for his stepfather. He is sentenced to life in prison with the chance to parole after 35 years. Now, Dustin reportedly expressed a lot of remorse during his trial and cried while the victim impact statements were being read. And his brother, one of them, has said that they believe that he was remorseful, but they, of course, still don't forgive him for what he's done and have no plans of having any type of relationship with him going forward, which I agree and understand. I say we find his daddy. I say we find his father and throw him in the cell too, because it seems as though after you left her, he just never recovered. He was just angry all the time. Oh no, child. Quiet as kept my daddy left. It ain't do none of that. That is it for today's video. I'm really excited about the next one because I can't even tell y'all about it because Blue, like, this is outrageous. As always, I appreciate you so much for spending your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Peace. Bella out there arguing with the neighbor's dogs. Anyway, as always, anyway, this little part right here is really getting me, because what's going on, girl? Child, look like Bella done 2-piece me in my eye. Dustin is fed up. Blue, really? Really, Blue? Now, as you can imagine, his antics cause a lot of this. Really? Both times, Papa? Don't do it again. But each time, my eyes itch so bad. Clarity kick in, please. Look at my eyelid. Child, I look like I've been socked. Socking my was it rocking? Socking? You know what I mean. Like, my eyes literally hanging on by a thread. Now this one is acting up at the end. Like, what the heck is going on? Chill. Even as a young adult, Dustin is still very abusive to his mother. Why are you yelling your snores back there? Even as a young adult, no, not Alan, girl, that's the daddy. That is the daddy. I feel like it's starting to work. And does a finger noise. On the morning of July 30th, I was thinking 13, and I knew it was 31st, and I don't know what was happening. Flesh. Blue, you getting out of control back there. Like, this is crazy. Afterward, he tucked her in. Blue, you cutting up back there, like, my goodness. Y'all, please overlook Blue snoring. He been working child security night and day. In March of 2021, 26-year-old Dustin Duthie, he was 27, he was not 26. I appreciate you so much. Blue was competing with me. I'm just gonna have to do the outro and pretend like Blue is not snoring. As always, I appreciate you so much for spending your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Now you don't want to snore. Wow.